Law of detachment says if your conditional is true and the hypothesis is true, then we can say that the conclusion is true. Okay, so the conditional is the if P then Q statement, right? Basically, we're saying if P then Q is true, so our conditional statement is true, and we say that the P portion of it is true, so the hypothesis is true, then we can say our conclusion would be that the conclusion, the Q part, is also true, okay? Which sounds confusing, but I think it will make sense once I lay it out for you here. So I'm going to give you a couple examples of this just to make it make sense for you, but this is really the process for law of detachment, okay? One thing to watch out for is what doesn't work, and I'm just going to write that here. Okay, if they say if P then Q, and then they say Q, well, let's do this. Q is true, so they tell you the hypothesis or the conclusion is true, then your answer to that is no solution or not possible. We'll say not possible. Okay, so this is the scenario that doesn't work if it looks like that. The one that does work is that first setup that I gave you. Yes?
Why would that not work if you say, you conclude that Q is true, sorry. Wouldn't that mean just P is true?
No. Okay, let me give you a scenario. Let's say I said, if you wash the car, I'll give you $10. And then later on that day, I gave you $10. Does that mean you washed the car? No. I could have given you $10 because I give you an allowance every week and that was your allowance, right? Or I could have given you $10 because I needed you to run to the store for me and get me milk and whatever. So it's all about the if this happens, then I will give you, right? So if you wash the car, then I'll give you $10. So you wash the car, you can conclude, I'm going to give you $10, right? But if you wash the car, then I'll give you $10 and I give you $10. That doesn't mean you washed the car. You might have washed the car, but we don't know that for sure, right? So that's where it's coming from. Let me just show you in these two examples and we'll see if we can make it make sense here. Okay, so example one, this letter A, it says, if a student gets an A on a final exam, then the student will pass the course. Okay, if a student gets an A on a final exam, then the student will pass the course. That is a true statement because of the weight of a final exam in my situation. Because of the weight of the final exam, if you got an A on the final, you would pass the course. Okay, we're saying that's true. Then it says, Susie got an A on her history final. Okay, is that the hypothesis or conclusion being spit back to us? It's the hypothesis, right? This is hypothesis, conclusion, hypothesis. So we're saying the hypothesis is true. Susie got an A. What can you conclude? Susie passes the course, right? Does that make sense? So you have your hypothesis and conclusion. That statement is true. Then we say the hypothesis part of it is true. You conclude the conclusion is true. Okay? Okay, letter B here. This one says, if you have a license, that's your hypothesis, then you can legally drive a car. Is that true? If you have a license, you can legally drive a car. Yeah, right? That's what the law says. You must have a license and then you can drive. It says you drove to the store. Is that your hypothesis or your conclusion?
Your conclusion.
That's the conclusion. That's this, right? Driving a car, drove to the store. So they said the conclusion is true. What do you have to conclude? That could be a possibility. We're just going to say it's not possible to make a conclusion. They might have a license, but they might not have a license, okay? You conclude that this is not possible because, story for you, my mom, when she was a kid, was 14 years old, and her dad, who was a smoker, said, Vicky, here's however much cigarettes cost back then, I don't know. Run to the store and get me cigarettes. She was 14. Granted, they lived in a very small town where everybody knew everyone. So the checker let her buy cigarettes at 14, first of all. Who does that? That doesn't happen anymore. And she drove when she for sure did not have a license, okay? So it is possible that you drive to the store, but that does not mean the hypothesis you have a license is true, okay? So you really have to look for that. If the hypothesis is given as the true statement, then you can say the conclusion is true, okay? If the hypothesis is not given, if it's the conclusion that's given, then you have to say not possible, because there's a lot of reasons why that thing could have happened, okay? Anyone have a good example of a law of detachment scenario? No? Was that a hand? No? Try to give you another one here. Let's see. If you are a student, then you have homework nearly every night, right? If I say, George has homework tonight, does that mean he's a student? Not necessarily, right? Maybe he was asked by his church to do this thing, right? And that's called homework for the night, okay? It has to be the if portion. The hypothesis is given back to you. You can then say the conclusion is true, okay? Is it true? Would you say it's true if you go to the Harvest Festival, then you're going to eat candy? No? Okay. Here's a true one. If you go to the Harvest Festival this year, then you're going to sweat. It's going to be 90 degrees, you guys. It's going to be hot at the Harvest Festival. Yep, we're all working. It's good times. Okay, so that's true. If you're at the Harvest Festival, it's going to be sweaty. If I say, I sweat so bad on Friday, does that mean I went to the Harvest Festival? No, right? But if I said, I'm going to the Harvest Festival on Friday, you can conclude, I'm going to sweat, right? So pay attention to the scenario there. Okay, any questions on Law of Detachment? Do you love it as much as I do?
No.
I just love it. Okay. Law of Syllogism. This one is slightly different, okay? Law of Syllogism now does this. You take your statements. You're going to have two conditionals now, two if-then statements, okay? Notice with Law of Detachment, there was only one if-then statement, and your answer is not an if-then statement in Law of Detachment. In Law of Syllogism, you get two if-then statements, and you make a new if-then statement if you can, okay? So Law of Syllogism, your answer is either one of two things: an if-then statement or not possible. Okay, that's the only type of answer you can give with Law of Syllogism. It's either going to be an if-then statement or not possible if we're just doing Law of Syllogism. Okay, so here's how Law of Syllogism works. You get these statements: if P, then Q, and if Q, then R. Okay, what happens is the two that are identical, notice here there's a Q here and there's a Q here. We take those two identical ones out, and as long as you're left with a hypothesis and a conclusion, you can use that to make a statement. So this would become if P, then R. Okay. Here's your little hint here. You need to get rid of a matching hypothesis and conclusion. If you get rid of two hypotheses that are the same, or you get rid of two conclusions that are the same, you're left with something that doesn't make any sense, okay? So let's look at this first example. It says, if a figure is a square, then the figure is a rectangle. Okay, hypothesis, conclusion. Then it says, if a figure is a rectangle, hypothesis, then the figure has 4 sides, conclusion. Your job is to determine, do I have a hypothesis and conclusion that are saying the same thing? Do you see 2 that are the same thing?
Yes, no.
What is it? Rectangle. Yeah, the figure is a rectangle. If a figure is a rectangle, right? It's saying the same thing. One's an if, one's a then. One's a hypothesis, one's a conclusion. If they're the same like that, and they don't have to be identical, they have to be saying the same thing, but they might say it in a slightly different way. What you're left with is your answer, okay? Your answer is, if a figure is a square, oh, let me show you what I'm talking about with the shortcut. If you want to use a shortcut here, here's what you could do. You would take your little copy tool in Notability, right? If a figure is a square, I just copied what was up there. Take your little copy tool again. Then the figure has 4 sides. Look how quick that is, guys. Right? That's your answer. If a figure is a square, then the figure has 4 sides. True statement. Yes, sir.
It says if a figure is a square, then the figure is a rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it supposed to be like false, or is that?
No, that's true. If a figure is a square, it will be a rectangle. A definition of a rectangle is that it has 4 right angles. Does a square have 4 right angles?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if it is a square, it is also a rectangle.
Square is a rectangle, but
Okay.
it's not a square.
Right. A square is a rectangle. A rectangle is not necessarily a square. Right?
I go with that.
Reverse order. So then it says, if a figure is a rectangle, it will have 4 sides, which is true. A rectangle has to have 4 sides. It's a quadrilateral, okay? So because these are, pencil back. Because these are the same, we can take them out and say, if this, then this.
Yeah, I got that,
Okay.
but I was just confusing the figure is a square.
Yeah. Yeah, square is always a rectangle. A rectangle is not always a square. Okay, the next one. If you do gymnastics, hypothesis, then you are flexible, conclusion. If you do ballet, hypothesis, then you are flexible, conclusion. What do you conclude?
Not possible.
Not possible, correct. Look at what's the same here. You are flexible, you are flexible. What you're left with is a hypothesis. Does it make sense to say, if you do gymnastics, if you do ballet? No, okay? So that is not possible, and that's all you have to say there, and you're done. Not possible. Okay? Let me see if I can give you another one off the top of my head. If you that's a good one. Not feeling very creative right now, guys. Let's just do this one. We'll just use this one. I'll see if I can come up with another one for you. Letter C. This one says, if a whole number is divisible by 10, hypothesis or conclusion. Hypothesis, whatever comes after the if is always a hypothesis, right? Then it is divisible by 5. Conclusion. If a whole number ends in 0, hypothesis, then it's divisible by 10. Conclusion. What conclusion do you make? Is it possible? Do you have anything that's the same here?
Yes.
What?
The divisible is set by 10.
Divisible by 10, right. So if we get rid of the 2 that are the same, divisible by 10, divisible by 10. Can you make a conclusion?
Yeah.
What?
If a whole number ends in 0, then it is divisible by 5.
Yes, don't let it freak you out if they're flip-flopped, right? You still have a hypothesis and a conclusion. you're going to write it just like that. If a whole number ends in 0, then it's divisible by 5. Okay. Questions on that? Ooh. Okay. Last thing. This one gets a little bit fancy. I'm going to see if you can figure it out on your own first, okay? There's 3 statements here, and you're going to use the law of syllogism and the law of detachment, and I'm not going to tell you what order to use them in. I just want to see if you can come up with what conclusion can be made here, okay? It says, if you live in Cerritos, then you live in California. If you live in California, then you live in the U.S. James lives in Cerritos. What can you conclude? Don't tell me. Work through it. See if you can figure it out. And then we'll talk about it. What'd you get? Go for it.
James lives in the U.S. and the state of California.
No. Callie, what'd you get? James lives in the U.S. Okay, here it is. If you live in Cerritos, then you live in California, right? Hypothesis, conclusion. If you live in California, hypothesis, then you live in the U.S., conclusion. So right there, you can use the law of syllogism, right? Law of syllogism here would say, get rid of the 2 that are the same. And we're left with, if you live in Cerritos, then you live in the U.S., okay? Now it says, James lives in Cerritos. So they went, if P then Q, and they told us P is true. That means we are allowed to assume or state that Q is true. So we're going to state that the conclusion is true, which would be James, that should be James, lives in the U.S. Okay? Sebastian.
But wouldn't that mean if you live in the U.S.? That doesn't mean you live in... Oh, but it's...
He does live in California. You're not wrong. That's just not the conclusion that should be made from this information.
It already states that.
Yes. We know he lives in California, right?
Okay.
If he lives in Cerritos, then he lives in California, and he lives in Cerritos. So we know he lives in California. But the conclusion that we can make from this information
Exactly.
is that he lives in the U.S.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Questions on that? Law of syllogism and law of detachment. Okay. If there's anything from 2-1 or 2-2 or 2-3 or today, anything that you want to go over with me, we've got like 13 minutes right now before the bell rings, okay? Take advantage of that. I would love to help you.